Hey, what's up everyone? So, I posted on one of these videos a little while back. As of recording this one, it's still unlisted, so I haven't fully decided if I'm uploading these or keeping them to myself, right? Uh, Hold on. So, basically, in the last video, I had a French defense game, and that was a very drawish game that ended in a draw. There was some tactics with an attack on f7 on my side with the queen. And like for the record, I recorded that video a long time ago, so I'm pretty happy that I'm able to remember that type of thing. I remember. So this game, if you're observant, some things about it are sort of already given away, like the name of the study that I played, and of course you look here. But the result I've kept hidden for now, and we will just have to see. Maybe there is a way. There is a way to see the result, actually. Never mind. You guys don't see that. You guys don't see that. I'm gonna have to find a better way to do this. So let's just get into it. So this is just, I'm gonna go through the first opening moves pretty quickly, because nothing interesting really happens here. He plays this capture and then put the bishop out, which I believe is some variation of the Caro-Kann. And I go for this idea, queen b3, to attack the pawn and attack b7. And he plays a good move. He plays the move defending it, the best one. Put the knight out. His best move is f6 to just defend against that. I like again, f6 is a fine move here. And here it actually wants me to go after this bishop with knight to h4, but I was thinking I could destabilize his queen side more if we traded off like this. And then e6, knight here instead of back to instead of putting the bishop out to try to castle, I developed this out here. Again, it wants me to go h4, drop back. e4 is his best move, going after my bishop. And then here, I finally do jump the knight out here. So the last couple moves seem kind of weird, and that's because my original plan was to send the knight into here. I forgot that I actually saved the arrows in this, so I could actually add some interesting arrows. But here, I did actually find this pretty nice sequence of ideas to capture and then push bishop to d3. So my idea was I don't want to play bishop to e2. I'll try to force my bishop to this square instead. Not a bad plan. Actually, everything up to here by myself and my opponent has been totally reasonable. This is totally okay. I guess this is pretty questionable, this whole idea to change my mind halfway through where I'm sending the bishop and where I'm sending the knight and all these pieces. And maybe my opponent could have prevented me from being able to play this move, knight h4. Like maybe at some point he could have played h6. Uh, or e4. h6 or e4 would have like carried through an advantage. That would have been pretty nice for him to have. But it's not a huge deal. So I developed the bishop out, and he goes for this trade. So here, I'm thinking about a lot of stuff, and you'll notice my next move, and it's not any good. It's not any good, and I'm not dumb, right? You might watch this game and you might think I'm dumb, but I'm not dumb. I know that there's an open C file for the rook, and I know that if I castle, I'd be going right into that. I know all of that. Now, my idea is that after I castle, he has no clear attack, and I have no clear attack. But I wanted to attack him. For whatever reason, I was feeling a little bit like I could go at this guy. Now, I'm going to add a little variation at this point, and I'm going to self-annotate this next move as a mistake in the study here. But I'm going to give myself a little variation that of a set of moves that I could have played instead. And here and then castles, short castles, and this is a fine position. This is better than what I did in the game, and probably what I should have done. He has these doubled pawns. I have the knight for bishop. The computer says it's equal, but the computer is kind of not understanding that as a human, things like the doubled pawns and knight for bishop are important. Like, maybe I'm not winning, but like it's fun to play chess, right? You know, sometimes you have to play chess. In this position, we would have played chess, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. It seems like an odd way to put it, but it's just how it is. Like, I mean, it says equal, but somebody probably would have won this game. Uh, so this is the variation that I should have gone for. Instead, I long castle, and the reason why long castles is and now the computer analysis gives this actually, I think, dubious move. I'm just gonna go ahead and give it one of these full question marks. Nah, that is actually kind of harsh because this move did create an unclear attack for both sides. It's just his attack is better. So, if I was playing against a player much worse than me, this probably isn't a horrible idea. But since I'm equal strength to my opponent, there's probably no reason for me to play like this. So, my idea here is just, I understand that he does this, and another thing that I saw too during this game was that there was a tactic after he played this to, I don't really want this to be added to the variations. I guess I could, but takes, and then queen takes, you might have seen that this is hanging, but, I did see that rook fb1 and my queen is trapped, so I was like, well, that's a bummer. But I'm always keeping tabs on the fact that that capture relinquishes control of that square, or squares in general, which will become important a bit later for some decisions I make. I'm always keeping this tension in mind. So look at this. This other variation is just a blunder, just a little something to keep in there. So he plays this move, and what I sort of saw too is that if he played this, I'm pretty sure I could have captured the pawn. No, okay, so I saw, no, it's still, yeah, okay, I guess it's still like that. Oh, no, hold on, this is not what I meant. This is not what I meant. I meant this, takes, and then takes. This is what I meant, to capture and then get the queen off that square. So, like, apparently, yeah, like, you're up a pawn, but then it's like queen captures, and then, yeah, I mean, he's gonna get this pawn through a fork. So this is also pretty bad. This is way too greedy also. So maybe that wouldn't have worked. But the fact that the tactic was there, you know, might have influenced why he moved which rook to which different square. Like, because if he had moved the rook over to this way, I'm fairly certain that in that position there was not an ability for me to play this, because then well, hold on. I keep forgetting to take the stupid bishop and when I'm showcasing this. But yeah. So here there is there is actually rook c to b8, and the same situation happens. Okay, well that's enough variations. You kind of see those are like where my mind was going during the game. I'm thinking all this different stuff. And here I'm just thinking, well, what's my best practical chances for forcing an attack, right? So there's all the, okay, so let's just go to this. Let's go to the position from this point onwards. So b5, king b1, and I give myself a bit of credit here for finding a couple good moves. Like e2 it says, I mean, rook to c1, queen c2. So basically, I'm trying to find moves that defend my position and hold on at this point. I'm thinking, okay, well, now I have to defend. I wasn't wrong to think that. So you'll notice I take the bishop now, and that relinquishes control of b5 right here. This is the idea. So originally, the variation that I saw was captures, queen captures, uh, queen to b6, and then a4. And my idea was I'm up a pawn, his pawns are still doubled, and my king is safe. Now, the computer is giving, whoops, the computer is giving this, I'm pretty sure. That's why it says e8 is the move there. Yeah, so it says up in here, it says eventually it wants you to go there, to that square to take the bishop. So that's something I didn't see when I was considering this. But none of that matters. None of that matters because after takes there is a4, which, shocker, I actually do see this move, but only after I take the bishop. So I see it a bit late. And I have to play this move a4, which I find. Like I said, I'm making bad moves. Hold on, I forgot to yeah, I forgot to give this move also a. This move is just a mistake because it's not like this move makes my position. This move doesn't imbalance the position in a good way. This is just the castles move is a move that I might consider playing in the future, knowing it's a bad move against somebody who's not as who's not as good as me in a situation where I need to win. Like if they're several hundred points lower rated than me, I might consider playing a move like long castles in the future. But this move is the type of thing that I would never play, so it's a mistake. I would never play this again if I like knew what I know, because queen takes, the pawn isn't even hanging. There's no defensive options because of this move, which I saw. So I saw that, and I instead have to play a4 just immediately, and now this is like much worse. This is much worse. So to my credit, I mean, look, the c2 is the top engine move, right? And look, he plays a mistake here. Knight c4 seems like a good idea. But it's just a mistake because of a move that I find. Bishop takes, and I've defended pretty well. Like, because of long castles, I've just had to defend this whole time. And of course, you'll notice I burned so much time doing this. I burned a bunch of time. I'm at 8 minutes. He's at 10 minutes right now, and I'm just thinking through all these things, and I'm like, okay, I need to take that bishop. I need to take that knight with my bishop. I still have an attack, right? Like, h5, I have to find the move h5, right? And the point, the takeaway here is I am putting so much mental stress on myself to find these moves just to defend, right? And here he does actually make another mistake. And this move, I'm not gonna like annotate this move, but it's a bit of an inaccuracy. I might give it like I might give it one of these like fancy ones. I might give it like a little fancy a little fancy annotation there, equal position. Uh, so so he does get this. I'm like, sure, right? I do, but I do for the record notice all of the stuff with the ideas to go queen here, queen to a3 to attack the pawn. I do see all this. I'm like, I mean, there's ideas to go here, right? There's ideas to defend it, and I'm just like, okay, well now I'm just gonna start giving checks. At this point, I don't see that it's a draw. I just see I gotta have something. And here I play Rook h7. Now Rook h7 was the nail in the coffin. This move is the final the final mistake. You'll notice that it's actually checkmate in 13 moves, and my opponent gets pretty dang close to that. It gets pretty dang close to that, you know? So, the idea behind this move was simply that after queen here, I was going to take, and then my opponent was going to go onto the back rank, and I was going to check them, and then they were going to go here. And I didn't see this. What I saw was check. Whoops, that hangs a rook. I probably would have seen that. But I was just showcasing my idea was to actually, uh, like, here and then, like, take this, right? This doesn't work now, but my idea was something like that. At this point, I have 5 minutes left. I'm not calculating fully what I should be, right? So, here I'm, like, not fully thinking through this move when I play it, which is obvious. But I play this move, and what makes this difficult, and the reason why I don't, is that after this move, and after takes, I was sort of thinking he had to go to the back rank, because I didn't visualize that this square was now open for him to go to. I didn't visualize that. And this was like, of course I'm getting a little bit frustrated, I'm getting a little bit nervous, I have 5 minutes left, I know I'm losing, right? I'm up 2 pawns, but it doesn't matter because the attack is too strong. I've moved my bishop out to f3, so there's no way to come back to defend. All this stuff is working against me, right? And, like, I I basically, like, fry my brain coming up with ways to prevent checkmate for a few moves. I find d5, and I just keep playing. I'm just like, alright, checkmate me then. Do it. And eventually he does, right? So I fry my brain for another 4 minutes trying to find a way to delay checkmate because I don't know why it's not that I expected him to blunder or miss the checkmate, but I'm just like, I can't just give up. It's good to have a fighting spirit anyway. But yes, I do end up losing. But this sequence where I find it and it just counts down where I have to find all the correct defensive moves. Oh my goodness. I mean, sometimes this will pay off. Like sometimes it'll pay off, right? Like you gotta have some degree of fighting spirit. Like play on until you're not gonna, like, just you know, like, I've drawn positions like this when I have, like, a situation like black has, right? But it's so the takeaways, right? Now, okay, this is something that I forgot to mention. Why is this move a blunder? And what move up? Shut up. Okay, I'll stop the video soon. I got a message that said free up storage space. I know this video is probably massive. So the idea is rook to e1. Rook to e1. And I kid you not, I actually saw this in the review when I went to, like, because Lichess has a feature that says, like, review your mistakes. And it gave me this position, and it was like, in the game you played rook h7, what move is the right move? And I swear to you, I looked at it for a bit, and I'm like, oh wait, rook e1, and if queen a3, you sacrifice the rook. Now, for the record, that works. I didn't calculate everything, obviously, but, like, I thought, okay, there's a perpetual check here, right? And there was. So, like, I'm not gonna beat myself up for not finding rook e1 in the game. What I'm gonna beat myself up for is not seeing the fact that he could have just played a4 in this position, and not playing a move like castles if I wasn't gonna see a move like a4. Basically, I'm not good enough to try to force. I'm not a good enough player, and my opponent was too strong of a player for me to think of trying to force a win. Like, forcing a win is something you do if your opponent is like 500 points. You play a move that's bad on purpose, right? In order to imbalance and try to win. I should not be doing that unless I'm up against someone who is, like, significantly worse than me. Uh, and even then, at my level, you can beat a lot of low-rated opponents by just playing solidly and, like, waiting for them to blunder. You don't have to try to win every game that against a low-rated opponent. So it's all, like, decision-making, all stuff to think about. I give myself a few props for equalizing the game for a while and just not seeing this defensive idea. By the way, you might like. By the way, here and all this stuff, the reason why I could have played H1 is just for the record. This is like fine for white. It's a bit scary, but black could probably still try to win. Like you go here, like B3 here. It's like, oh, it's a draw. It's easy, but like you have the outside pass pawn and the queen for 2 rooks. It's like I probably would have been fine. Who knows, right? The game would have continued. But I'm not. I'm gonna end this here because this video is getting a little bit too long. That's all I have for right now. But this is something that I wanted to just review because I was trauma dumping my father just now about this game basically. So I thought, you know what? Why don't I just use this energy to to make a YouTube video? So that's what I did, and maybe I'll post it. Maybe it'll be unlisted, and I'll keep it for myself. But on the off chance I do decide to post this video, I'm gonna try to play in the National Open in pretty soon. It's gonna be in Las Vegas, and I'm gonna try to play in it. So I was thinking of doing some kind of like build up to that and some kind of like vlog where I describe like my experience going to my first chess tournament after having played online all this time, and just describe all that. So if that's something you guys might be interested in seeing, I'd like to know. But that's going to be it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm not too sure what it's going to be about. I might try to wait until I get a good game and post a win. I might also look into my game history and find a good win. I don't know. But regardless, not a bad game here. I just played a little bit too ambitiously and then didn't find the right tactics to hold a draw or hold my position. I didn't find the right defensive moves because I missed tactics, right? So in the future, if you're playing an opponent who's equal to you, don't imbalance it like this. And I just kick myself over and over. Whoops. I kick myself over and over about this type of thing because in the game I saw takes castle. In the game I saw that this was an option. I was like, nah, I'd win. You know that one meme, and I'd win. That's literally me. So it's whatever. It's whatever. Just a little bit too ambitious. It's fine. But other than that, that's gonna be it. I'm done. Done with this for a little bit. I'm gonna probably chill out the rest of the evening, and I'm just gonna think about this inevitably for the next little while. But for the most part, try to shuffle this one away and another one of the cases of like I'm not that of just another example of me not being that guy and trying to be that guy and losing because of it. I'll be that guy of one of these days, but for the at the moment, I just got a short castle. I don't know. That's gonna be it. That was gonna be it for this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.